All right, I want to take a couple minutes to kind of explain one of the most tragic things that happens in healthcare and how we need to change our thought process when it comes to this. So here's the scenario: is you go into a hospital, you get some blood work done, you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high blood sugar. They ask about your family. It's like, yeah, my mom and dad were overweight, my uncle was overweight, they had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And they're like, well, it must be genetic. Here, take these pills. This is what you need. It's genetic. There's nothing you can do about it. And then we have this belief system that, oh, we got bad genes. We can't change our genes, and it just takes hope away. And you think there's no options. It doesn't work that way. Let me explain how your genes work, right, with building a house. So I want you to visualize the most perfect house you've ever seen. Women, I know you've done this. Let's just visualize you got the absolute most perfect house. It's flawless. And you've got the blueprint for this house. I mean, this blueprint is perfect. Everything about it is perfect. So you got the perfect blueprint to build the perfect house. I mean, everything in it, the pool, the cabinets, the counter, the backsplash, all this stuff, perfect. And then Jonathan and Drew, right, they find you a construction crew that never makes mistakes. It's like the absolute most perfect construction crew ever. So you have the perfect blueprint, you have the perfect construction crew, right? And then you start ordering materials to build this house. But you start getting in rotten wood, and you're missing windows altogether. There's like no glass windows, and the shingles are shatty, and some of the nails are bent, and they're getting materials, and they can build you a house, but will it ever be perfect? Well, no, it can't be. You're getting the wrong materials, and you're missing materials. And you can build a house, but it's not perfect, right? Is that the blueprint's fault? Absolutely not. Is it the construction crew's fault? Absolutely not. Let's talk about our bodies, right? So let's go back in time to when your mom and dad first met. When they first met, they had one really, really good night, and all of a sudden, boom, you were one cell inside your mother's womb. And that one cell had the gene code to make you. That gene code is a blueprint. So one cell is just a blueprint to make the 200 different cells that make you. And here's what's amazing. From that one cell, you make 200 different cells. There's cells inside your stomach that can dissolve a razor blade, right? You got eye cells that can see, and skin cells, and nerve cells, and all these different cells that make you, that came from one cell with one set of genes, one blueprint, all right? And then somehow that one cell turns into a human being inside your mother's womb. Like, what in God's name makes that happen? That's the construction crew. There's an innate intelligence within us that can take one cell and make a human being. Like, it's crazy. The smartest minds in the world can't make one cell. When a woman's pregnant, she's making 8,000 cells per second. How? And all these different cells are made in perfect organized order to produce a human being. I mean, right now you're seeing, you're hearing, you're digesting food, you're processing literally trillions, hundreds of trillions of bits of information. And really cool, like, how big's a trillion? If we go back in time, 1,000,000 seconds, right? We go back about 12 days. If we go back in time 1,000,000,000 seconds, that's 32 years. Go back in time 1,000,000,000,000 seconds, that's 32,000 years. You have hundreds of trillions of chemical reactions organized, happening all the time. There's some intelligence within us making that happen. I call that the innate intelligence. That is our construction crew, right? That is what's making everything happen. Now, how do we build the body? It's based on what we eat. Our materials to build our home, to build us, is the food we eat. Our gene code is amazing. Our construction crew, that innate intelligence, it's so amazing, it's beyond imagination. We have to give it the right parts to make ourselves healthy and function. The reason why people have high blood sugar and high blood pressure and high cholesterol and these majority of health problems is because we're putting the wrong materials into the system, and we're missing so many of the right materials. Like, you can't build a good house without windows. You can't have a healthy body if you're low on vitamin D and you're low on omega-3 fats fish oil. That's why those are the two that are so important to supplement. Like, the biggest problem is if you go into a health provider like, oh, it must be genetic, here's these pills, it takes hope away. The overwhelming majority of things aren't because you have bad genes, it's because you're putting in the wrong parts and you're not getting the right genetic expression. Exercise is huge to make all this stuff happen. Exercise is like putting the construction crew to work, right? Think about this. Let's say you take Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. He's got a pretty good genetic potential to build some big muscles. If he just laid on a couch drinking sodas and watching TV all day, which unfortunately a lot of people do, would he get big, strong muscles? Well, of course not. Is that a problem with his genes? No, it's a problem with he's not getting the right materials, and his construction crew is just laying there. It's not doing anything. So once we understand this, we can maximize our genetic potential. So everybody has slightly different genetic potentials. Obviously, if LeBron James and Serena Williams had a child, they have a pretty high athletic potential. Even with that massive potential, if all they did was eat Doritos and watch TV, they wouldn't amount to a good athlete. So all of us have different genetic potentials. The way we maximize our own potential is by eating good foods, avoiding the crap, and exercising on a regular basis, getting good sleep, living a healthy lifestyle. You can literally change your genetic expression based on what you eat. And it goes a step further. Moms, dads, what you eat can literally alter the genetic expression of your kids and grandkids. It's so important. Like once you understand, like I should understand that what I'm feeding my kid can change his genetic expression and affect his entire life, of course I'm going to give him great foods. Why would I want to limit his potential? I mean, that's just, it's crazy, but things aren't explained this way. So you don't understand how important it is, right? So if I wake up and I give my kids eggs, which is awesome, healthy fats and healthy proteins with some berries with good probiotics and tons of healthy minerals and nutrients, it's maximizing his genetic potential. If I wake up and give him a bowl of Fruit Loops and a glass of juice, a bunch of sugar water, that's terrible food, terrible materials, and he's not going to come close to reaching his potential. So once you understand eating good food and exercising is like building a beautiful home, because that's what you are. You're way more valuable than a beautiful home. It's just so powerful to understand that. Very few things. I mean, there are some, right? There are some genetic defects that people can have, no doubt about it. I hate that I have to say it because it's such common sense, but that there are some out there. But the overwhelming majority of health problems today aren't because we have a bad blueprint, because our gene code is messed up. It's because we're putting in the wrong materials, we're not getting enough exercise, and this can't be expressed the way it should, and then we get sick. So make the better choices, maximize your genetic potential, maximize your kid's genetic potential, maximize your grandkids' genetic potential, and everybody, everything, the whole freaking place will be healthier and happier.